So, oh, something interesting. I heard literally today, which I wrote it down. I was listening to a podcast today, and a doctor was saying, and he's like a doctor of longevity. And he was saying, smoking and diabetes, for instance, increase your chance of death by 3 times. And he said, being cardio fit, like having a high VO2, reduces your chances of death by 5 times. So as bad as smoking and diabetes are, physical fitness increases your lifespan by that much more. And I know that's, for me, like longevity is such a huge, I think about it a lot. I'm trying, like you said, like you're trying to increase your mileage from last year. I'm terrified of getting older, and I want to be better. It's like I want to be better than I was last year, in better shape than I was last year, and that kind of motivates me every year. It's like, okay, how do I do that now? Like, and how do I do it next year? And I keep kind of pushing that, but I know at some point I'm going to it's going to turn the other way, and it might have already happened. But I think about that a lot with my kids and potential grandkids, and like I want to be there. What motivates you? Like,
I would say health is part of it.
mm-hmm.
It is. Want to be fit, but again, I just go back to having a stress reliever, because I think stress can create more harm for you over
Absolutely.
the long term. And just having that ability to decompress, relax afterwards, because that's it. You exert all that energy, and then I find the rest of the day I'm more relaxed.
Do you do any like yoga or meditation or anything like
I
that?
have done yoga a couple times, and it's interesting, but I haven't really latched onto it.
Right.
Most days in the mornings I stretch. I'm over 50.
Right.
And,
Right.
I find it just helpful.
Yeah.
Well,
the
body.
The reason I ask is because or more specifically meditation. I hear people talk about the benefits of meditation, and I've never really done any of that. But I know, like you're saying, in the pool and on the bike, like I'm alone for an hour in my thoughts.
I view it that way.
My
Absolutely,
meditation. Right.
It is, because
right.
I'd be lying if I didn't say there are times when I'm swimming that work things pop into my head, or if I'm struggling with something at work, let's say, or even in my personal life. It's a time to focus on that while I'm working out. That does happen, and I would agree with you that is that kind of an exercise meditation,
right.
because you're, let's face it, when we've been swimming enough that we've got the technique down, and you're just going.
Working on the breathing still.
Working on the breathing,
because that's always
rhythmic, and then it just then lets your mind do different things, whether it's
right.
enjoying a song, or thinking about things and kind of working those out in your brain, or at least trying to get there.
Absolutely. It's similar to like being in the shower. You're in the shower and you're doing your routine in the shower, and you're relaxed, and then ideas pop in your head. And I think everybody knows what that's like, but I think a lot of people don't know what it's like to be lost in exercise and have that, because it's a similar kind of thing. And like you said, that personal life or work pops in your head. It's like, well, those are the things your mind wants. It's trying to work through. There's a reason it's popping up. And you think, like the shower, you're relaxed. The workout, it's not relaxed, but it's a relaxed mind though.
It is a relaxed mind. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, because I know I do my best thinking when I'm exercising. Like I really do work through things, and I kind of almost think about it from a different perspective than I normally would. Yeah, and it definitely, I feel, what did I hear today, that since COVID, childhood obesity has doubled in the last year and a half across the board.
I did not know that.
And I don't know how true that stat is. I just heard that. Who knows what to believe. But I'm not surprised. I would say it's probably as bad for most people. I think a lot of people don't know what it's like to feel healthy and feel good, to exert themselves, and I feel bad about that. I mean, part of this I'm hoping that maybe inspire some people or think about it, but I feel great when I exercise. I do. There's such a it's such an easy correlation for me. Put in the effort and I feel good the rest of the day. It's that simple.
Absolutely.
And I'm getting some longevity out of it. I'm enjoying life more, right? And I think about people that that probably don't live the healthiest lifestyle, and they're probably used to just there's definitely days let's say Thanksgiving week or Christmas week or where I'm overeating and I'm not exercising as much and I feel like crap. I feel horrible. And you got to think a lot of people go through life and that's how they normally feel. They don't know what good feels like.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. I wish I could help them, but I don't know how to.
There's an internal motivation part of this too, and some people just aren't. It's just not their DNA. They're not motivated to do those things, whether it's exercise or work or a number of things. I mean, I think there's a lot of reasons why. Upbringing, physical, whatever it may be. I think there's some components there that a lot of people have drive, some people don't.
That's it. You just hit on the two. So there's a guy I listened to, not often, but I read his book. Well, I say I read his book. I listened to his book on CD on audio. Mm-hmm. David Goggins. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a just quick story about him. Kind of just he was abused as a kid, had pretty tough upbringing, was as a young adult quite heavy, and decided I'm going to be a Navy SEAL. And he had 3 months to go from severely obese to being a Navy SEAL, and trying. And he failed the first 2 times, right at the end. And his third and last time trying to get in, he had broken shins and he pushed through. And now he's an ultra runner and does all kinds of things. He's very vulgar and very loud, but he talks a lot about motivation. He's always trying to find motivation and trying to get motivation, but he calls it kindling. It's lots of kindling. You can light those fires, but they go out quick. And trying to get to the point where you're driven is the goal, where that's when the big log catches and I've been trying to think of how to motivate other people, and it's how do you get that to be internal? Because I don't know how to even describe what I do sometimes, or what you do. It's kind of hard. I see the benefits, but it takes a certain amount of time to get there. When you start exercising, it's not fun. You're sore. And how do you keep that motivation? What keeps you going to the? Is it just that simple? That just.
A couple things come into play where, as a kid you had your friends, right? You're doing things with your friends, sports, exercising, and so forth. And I think that gets instilled at a young age. And even when you're older, to go out and do that on your own, I think that's a challenge. That takes a lot of extra motivation. But if you've got somebody like my friend that said, hey, let's do a triathlon. I said, all right, let's do it. And then, so we trained together. And we had that back and forth, or even now, going to the pool on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, it's a little bit of, say, peer pressure, if you will, because I know Tracy and Ian are going to be there, and I want to be there if they're there, or vice versa. And so there's that side of it too that helps the drive, and there's some camaraderie there, and so it's not just one thing. I think it's just a couple that come into play. But having someone else that will be there with you to suffer through, basically, is commiserate.
Right, and embrace the suffering.
The suffering, exactly.
Yeah. Did you? So I do think, I've tried to diagnose kind of how I've come to where I am, and I definitely had 2 very good role models. My parents both, were always. I grew up in Gold's Gym where they're playing racquetball. It was the racquetball club back then. Sure. And they were there every week, or they're at the university playing racquetball, and my dad was always playing basketball, and still to this day they're snowbirds. They bike on Daytona Beach. My mom's like, we don't have hills in Daytona, we have wind.
Yeah.
And they bike to pickleball, play pickleball, bike home, and then when they're in Damerscott, they're just very active. Did you have a very active role models?
I would think back then it was the different coaches that I had in the sports I was playing. Very, very motivational, very driven, not to the point of being abusive.
Right.
Not that way. And then just growing up in a neighborhood that had a lot of guys my age where we did all kinds of things together. There were sports. I mean, it just fostered from there. And some of my best friends today, I still keep in touch with them. And it started back then, so it was kind of that camaraderie, and I enjoyed it. So it was something that's just stuck with me over the years.
And where did you grow up?
Toledo, Ohio.
So, and what sports did you play? Like, what were your big main sports kind of growing up?
Football, basketball, baseball.
What was your main one?
Football.
Yeah, same here. What position? Or
running back and linebacker. But the truth of that story is, I'm as tall as I was, and I weigh the same amount as I was in about like 8th or 9th grade. So that was it. Topped out of 5'9". It's
well, I topped out of 5'6", so you got me.
But no, yeah, I enjoyed football quite a bit.
What'd you enjoy about it? Like, because I know my answer to that question.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the hitting. I enjoyed just the adrenaline. It was all of that.
Yeah.
Just all of that. And again, back to the camaraderie with my friends. I mean,
right.
It was just a very close group. I went back to Ohio a couple of years ago. We had a little reunion of our group, and it was great. It was just so much fun.
Yeah.
To see them again.
I look back at myself at that age, and like I was a different kind of human at that point.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I love the violence of it. Something about like I'm not that way. Like that's so not me anymore. But at the time, it was just like I'm. And then my teammates have my back. I've got their back. I have a job to do. They have their job to do. I can't worry about. I got to do my job, and I played literally the same positions as you. I was running back. I was a strong safety till my senior year. I got bumped to linebacker, 135 pound. We did have the top defense in the state that year, not because of me. I could just hold the guards where they were and let the other guys do the tackle. I loved it though. Yeah. Now you have kids.